You're the one who pulls it together. And I find that people get kind of put out about that. They kind of get a little bent out of shape thinking that, oh, well, because I got it started, somebody else should finish it. Now, I hope you're taking notes because I'm about ready to give you a piece of advice that can be a game changer for you in your life. Here's the advice. Here's my experience. Here's my wisdom on this piece right here. What I have figured out along the way of coaching others and also coaching myself is that the ingrained mindset that someone else has to pull this together for me in the end is that comes from a childhood lifestyle that we would start doing our chores, but then we get tired of it and we get confused. And then mom comes in and finishes it, or she comes in and straightens the bed. So if you grew up with a mom or a dad who come in and then finish the last little tiny bits of your bed or picking up your room, or they come in and they move some things, you learned while you were growing up, you only do it so far. And then somebody with an authority figure is going to come in and finish it for you. Somebody better than you will finish it for you, meaning mom, dad, grandpa, grandma, whoever that authority figure was in your life. And so we grew up as a child being taught, oh, you got to clean your room. You got to do your chores. You got to participate around the house. And so you try, but then you watch and observe as that adult figure comes in and then does a better job than you did. And they finish up what you didn't finish. And so you learn, I don't have to finish it. My mom will finish it. My dad will finish it. And here's the crazy thing. As an adult, right now, you are an adult, right? That behavior of somebody else finishing it for you is still inside you. You don't know you wrestle with that one. You don't even know that that's something you wrestle with from childhood. And that you'll start things. You'll start marketing. You'll start your content. You'll start putting together a webinar. You'll start wanting to be a coach. And you'll get halfway through it or 2/3 of the way through it. And all of a sudden, there's this weird feeling you have like you can't finish it or you don't know how to finish it. And you're not alone. I see this as a huge issue with adults, that they don't know how to finish what they started because they weren't taught that they have the ability to finish. And so you most likely were not taught and trained that what you finished and how you finished things was good enough. That it was good enough. That nobody fixed what you did. Like you made your bed and mom came in and goes, oh, that's good. Good job. Usually they come in and they straighten things out. Usually they come in and kind of tidy it up a little bit more. And so you're used to somebody coming in and finishing it for you. And so what happens to adults who try to be entrepreneurs, try to take on a new skill, try to do something that they felt impressed to do, but they don't know how to do it. They get started, but then there's this concern. There's this concern that it's not going to be good enough. And then the second part is they don't know how to finish the job. And so those two things come from childhood and it's inside you. I'm telling you right now, if I had a coaching appointment with you, I bet I would find that inside you. So as a coach, when I meet people who are passionate and they're excited and they want to do something and they are not finishing their content, they're not finishing the webinar, they're not finishing what they need to do. And also they're like, I don't know if this is good enough. That is a childhood experience. That is a childhood programming. That is childhood paradigms. Those are your inner child that's coming up inside of you and reliving your childhood that no matter what you did, dad fixed. Whatever you did, mom fixed. Or maybe they actually even commented like, oh, wow, this isn't good enough. I don't know how extreme it was for you growing up as a child, but there's a good chance. There's a really high level chance that you have that going on inside of you. So if you look around and see things not being finished, it's not your current adult self that has the challenge. It's an inner child part of you, a version of you that's just like, well, I've just learned that if I wait long enough, somebody will show up and finish it. Somebody else will come along, and then you wait, and it's like, wait, how come nobody? You don't know this psychologically, this is happening to you, but it's like you're waiting for somebody to show up and just fix it for you and literally tell you how to finish it. So I personally wrestled with this. When I found this inside me, I was shocked because I was coaching somebody one day. This is years and years and years ago. I was coaching someone and I was like, why do they do this? Why are they like this? And I started really diving in, trying to figure out what's going on with them. And I did this exercise where I take what my client's challenge is and I tried to assimilate it in my own life and try to go, okay, what does this feel like? What would I be thinking if I was doing what my client's doing? And as I assimilated that and tried to get into their world and understand their world, I found this part of going, oh my goodness, this would be like my mom or dad coming in and finishing what I started, or whatever I did. You know, if I was tightening a bolt on something, my dad would grab the wrench and test it. And so he would be the finisher. My mom would be the finisher, you know, and so all these other adults around me were the finishers. And I realized, am I a finisher? And I looked around in my life and I was like, wow, I got a lot of things I've started, but am I a finisher? Do I have the capacity to be able to finish it and call it done? And I'm happy with it. It's finished, you know, and it's like, wow. And it just woke me up to this fact of going, wow, I get really close. I get to the 90-yard line and I get right there, but it's the last little bit that just doesn't come together. And it's just always just kind of hanging out there. And I'm like, wow, I've got to jump on this. And so I started looking around at things and I was started to put things into phases. Like, this is phase 1. Oh, it's finished. Here's phase 2. It's finished. And I started chunking things into sections so that I could claim that I'm finishing things. And I realized that there is a satisfaction and a fulfillment to say that this phase or this section or this time is finished. Like, it's like, what? Like, there's something inside of us as people that psychologically, when we are the one who completes something we finish ourselves or with a team, but we're leading the team and we finish something and we call it finished, it's done. It's like, we did it. Like, there's a satisfaction, a completeness, a complete circle. Start, do the project, and finish. It's like this complete rotation. And the word complete, I mean, you think about this. How many people do you meet who don't feel complete? They're always running around trying to find something to complete their life. How many people do you know that are just like, oh, I'm not quite sure what I want to do with my life? They just don't feel complete. And they're always looking for the next thing because they don't see anything in their life that is complete. And the house is there's always dishes and there's always laundry and it's never complete, right? And how many times do you see people or hear people, and maybe this is even you, where it's like, oh, I got to do the dishes again. It's just this ongoing project. And it's like, wait a minute. You could have done the dishes last night and said, wow, today's dishes are done. Complete. This load of towels are folded. That's complete. And so we as people, since we're not finishers, we don't see what we complete. And so listen to this. We don't feel complete.